What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock Kingdom time. That means it's time for Chiefs Kingdom Live. We got Nick,
yeah.
we got Mo here. How you guys doing? Good?
Yeah, man, doing great.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nick, doing good? Cool.
Yep.
If this is your first time joining the show, or if you haven't done it already, do us a favor. We'd appreciate. Click the live. Give us some, click a subscription. Set that up. Doesn't cost nothing. Turn on those notifications. We just here for the start of the new season. We're going to try and get the show on some more platforms. We set up a Rumble account. We're trying to get to 100 followers on Rumble. So if you could help us out there, maybe we'll do something cool for like the 100th follower or something, when we get to that milestone. That allows us to stream live on there for free. So all the other social media, a lot of you probably following us on there, but you can check us out. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Chiefs Kingdom Live. Pretty simple. Today's show kind of starts off on a somber note. Most people, I'm sure, have heard about it's just the unfortunate passing of Chiefs legend Len Dawson, the original GOAT.
Right.
One of the guys one of the guys, if not the guy, that put the Chiefs on the map.
Completely.
The guy that was around in the AFL, NFL days and the merger. Just a tremendous player. Some of his stats, he played, quite a long time ago. So some of that maybe fades, especially with younger people. I mean, obviously he played long before I ever watched Chiefs football, but you go through and look at some of his stats and his accolades. 7 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pro first teams. He led the league in touchdown passes 4 times. He set the Chiefs record for touchdown passes in a season in 1964 with 30, which if you think about 30 touchdown passes in 1964, stood as a Chiefs record until Patrick Mahomes threw 50 in 2018. 3-time AFL champ, 1-time Super Bowl champ, and Super Bowl IV MVP. It's hard to do much more than that in the game of football. So he had been in kind of poor health here for a number of years. He also was one of 3 people that's in the NFL Hall of Fame as a player and as a broadcaster. I believe Dan Dierdorf and who's the other guy, Nick? Dan Dierdorf and now his name's going to escape me.
I know Madden's in as a coach and but I don't know of another player.
Well, it doesn't matter. They weren't Chiefs anyway.
Yeah.
So. But it was just the guy had an insane broadcasting career. Really helped launch, not just put the Chiefs on the map, but put the NFL on the map. He was an integral and instrumental part at the beginning of the HBO show Inside the NFL. He was a local broadcaster here, Ohio born, but became a Chiefs legend. And you just have to think if he would have played for a big market team like New York or LA or Dallas or somebody like that, he'd probably be more well known and probably be more nationally recognized for just everything he did for the game of football and it is a bigger picture. But pretty bummed out. I saw that this morning. Just a bad way to start the day. But it's just sad. But that's no one gets out alive, right? So, R.I.P. to Len. Any memories you guys have? I'll share one here in a minute after you guys go. And Nick, anything stands out?
Yeah, so for a number of years, I worked on the weekends, and there were a great many Chiefs games that I did not get to watch live, and because of my job. But I did work selling audio equipment, and so I would turn all of the radios to 101 The Fox on Sundays, and back then it was Len Dawson and Mitch Holthus that would announce the game. Mitch Holthus obviously still legend. He's still going. Len Dawson quit doing it a few years ago due to health. But I just remember, obviously I wasn't alive when he was a player, but I just remember, listening to him and Mitch Holthus. That was like during the Trent Green era. It was good times. Len Dawson provided kind of a more realistic look at the Chiefs. He was obviously a great ambassador for the Chiefs, but he was a realist on the radio broadcast, which was appreciated. And then also just the memory of being proud that he was a player for our team, that he got us to the first Super Bowl, that we weren't the first AFL team to win a Super Bowl, but we won Super Bowl 4, right, and so he was in 2 of the first 4 Super Bowls ever. There's that iconic picture of him smoking a cigarette
cigar, yeah,
at halftime during Super Bowl 1. They called it the Fools League, right? When they started it, and he was one of the forces in showing that the AFL teams, which later became the AFC, were worth competing against to the NFL at the time, right? And think of it like that would be like somebody today coming from the XFL, or what's this other league that's out there, and them like coming in and playing Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and like giving him a run for his money, or winning against like Aaron Rodgers or something of the time. So just pretty amazing for him to come up and do that. And an iconic person in Kansas City. He's a lifelong Kansas City, and even though I see John B in the comments there, he is from Ohio, but he was, as I was listening to Keatsman's podcast today, and he brought that up, that, he's a lifelong Kansas City guy. Scott, I know you've seen him out and about before. I know that my dad has seen him out and about. His nickname, Lenny the Cool. He just was like a cool dude. I've never heard negative things about him from anybody. He's one of those people that everybody that I know that's interacted with him has a cool story to tell. So rest in peace, Len.
Yeah, there are a couple of moments that stand out for sure, right? Nick mentioned it, the iconic moment of him smoking the cigar at halftime. I think that's that went around today on social media everywhere, right? You just saw that photo everywhere. Obviously, him winning the Super Bowl. I mean, you guys kind of mentioned all the great highlights, but I mean, one thing you guys forgot to mention, he played for 19 years. And even back then, man, when those guys are getting lit up with one bar across their face mask, and before roughing the passer was even a thing, those guys were getting lit up. Yeah. That guy was in the league for 19 years, and he lived to 87 too, man. So I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I had the good fortune to meet Mr. Dawson. I believe it was Ameristar Casino a number of years ago, and I just happened to see him sitting there, and I just walked up, and I was just going to introduce myself to him and just say, "Hey, it's great to meet you, man. You're Chiefs Legend. I love it." And he was like, "Have a seat," and I sat down next to him there, and had a beer with him. And
dude, that's awesome.
He kind of asked me about being a Chiefs fan, and it wasn't about him. He wasn't arrogant. He didn't act annoyed. He might have been annoyed. Hell, I might have been annoying him, but he was just super cool.
You've never told me this story before. This is amazing.
Yeah, and he just kind of told me some just about back in the old days and how much football had changed. And so I got to sit there and for 5-10 minutes and just shoot the breeze with him. Couldn't have been classier. Couldn't have been nicer about it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool guy. Sometimes people just exude that good vibe.
Yeah.
Right? And I definitely experienced that when I got to talk to him. And so yeah, R.I.P. Len. Glad Patrick Mahomes. You're talking about that picture of him. I think Patrick Mahomes has got a shirt that I saw him wearing before a game one time, where it's a picture of Len Dawson, the smoking the cigarette and drinking a Fresca, I think, there in the locker room at halftime of the Super Bowl. But
well, he got all kinds of publicity with that photo last year because Joe Burrow was trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow came out a similar picture, trying to replicate that situation and everything. But yeah.
Mahomes, did you guys see Mahomes' tweet about it today? They had somebody did a really good Photoshop, and it's Mahomes with his arm, looks like his arm's around Len Dawson, and the photo goes left to right. It goes from new HD look to like an old vintage photo look. I mean, it's It's pretty cool. Him and Travis Kelce have both put photos like that out there. You know, they're just Chiefs greats of the common era, but they respect the lineage of our team and the history of our team, and the past as well. So it's great to see that. Obviously, Patrick got to meet Len Dawson. They did when Mahomes was having his breakout year. I think they had it was one of the I saw Len Dawson do actually, where they were introducing him. And I kind of remember joking at the time that they were probably telling Patrick, "Hey, we're going to introduce you to the guy that won the Super Bowl for the Chiefs before you." And he saw him and was like, "Oh my God, that guy!" Because
yeah, right.
It's been 50 years, so
right, yeah,
it's crazy. So
yeah, long drought. So
yeah, but Lynn got to live through and see Patrick win another one for us, which is great.
Right.
So
yeah,
the most random Len Dawson reference I've ever heard, though. I don't know if you guys ever heard of or did the P90X program with Tony Horton, but there's a workout move in there called throw the bomb. You take a dumbbell and you put it over your head and you just kind of do this move.
Yep.
And Tony Horton says, "Call out your favorite quarterback," and he says, "Len Dawson," right? And you're just like,
I do remember that.
Hey, let's go.
There's two things I remember very specifically from that. It's that. And then in the plyometrics where I'm like, dude, that guy looks just like the guy from Super Troopers. And I was like, that can't be him though. And then I looked it up and it's Rabbit from Super Troopers is the guy. And he's got a fake leg too. He does that workout will run you to death. And he's doing it with one leg.
Wow.
So not only was he hilarious in that movie, but evidently he's pretty badass because he was in that video. And that's the hardest workout. So.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
I've done that workout many a times. Didn't even realize that was Rabbit. That's
fun. Next time you do it, it'll pop right off the screen. He's got that.
Oh my God, I did it this whole time. Didn't even know.
Yeah.
Dude, the most humiliating thing about that program is he does it one-legged, and you're sitting there dying on two legs, barely making it through all the routines. You're just like, oh, what? This guy's doing it one-legged?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not P90X Live though, is it, Scotty?
No, it's not. That's okay. But we digress a little bit. Yeah, R.I.P. to Lynn. Just a great life. I mean, a life that most people would have traded for. We appreciate that, John. John's a fellow Ohio native there. So good to see you in the comments. Thanks for stopping by, John. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. We've been getting a bunch of people in the views, but we don't get any comments. So if you're watching the show, send us a comment. Don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. I've said stuff on here. I think in an episode last year, I said one of our front office people went to become the general manager of the Bears, and I said the guy complete wrong name. So give us a shout. At least tell us where you're from. If you're too nervous to ask a question or give us a shout out. Something. Just get involved with the show. We got Doug in here. The old Hank Stram. Another Chiefs legend, right? The coach that was in the glory days of the first glory days of the Chiefs, pumping in there, matriculating the ball down the field. And you just watch those old school videos. And as a Chiefs fan, I know Doug was around and got to see Lenny the Cool play and got to experience the 60s Chiefs and the early 70s Chiefs. So pretty cool. R.I.P. Lynn, you will be missed, but you'll never be forgotten by Chiefs Kingdom. We had a game Saturday against Washington. That would have been week 2, but that's all right.
It's technically week 3 because there was that first game with Raiders and Jags. Just
okay.
following the NFL schedule.
Gotcha. Okay. Second game for the Chiefs played in preseason in week 3. Against Washington Commanders. It was actually a pretty entertaining game for a preseason game. There was some drama. There would not have been any drama if that was a regular season game, because just like the first week against the first game against the Bears, Chiefs came out on defense. They were a little leaky there and gave up some first downs, but they stiffened up and kept them out of the end zone.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs offense got the ball, went right down the field.
I think Karlaftis got a sack that took him out of field goal range too, right?
Right. Yeah. So Chiefs offense, Chiefs defense got the ball back in. I'm not going to lie. there was a couple of times there on that first drive where Patrick on one play looked like he was about to get blindsided. And then there was another play where he kind of got hit in the pocket. It wasn't a hard hit, but the defender was kind of falling into him. And you see a lot of times that's how guys get their legs taken out or whatever. I was sweating a little bit on the couch when I saw Patrick come back out for that second series. I know it's the first home game of the season, even though it's a preseason game. I know the fans are paying money because I pay money to go there. I didn't actually make that game, but they want to put the guys out there for the paying fans and to entertain the crowd. And I think it's important for guys to get reps going into the season, personally. But I was a little nervous when I saw 15 coming back out there for that second drive. But he came out and they marched the ball right down the field again, scored a touchdown. So in the preseason so far, the Chiefs have scored with their first team offense on the field a touchdown on every drive with Patrick. And the defense has not given up any points in 2 preseason games. The first string defense. Can you get a better preseason start than that? Not that it guarantees anything in the regular season, obviously, but they look good.
No, yeah, man. Like you said, it could you not ask for a better start than that? Like both sides, first string looking great. Even second string, as Nick was bringing up, all those guys are looking awesome on defense too, which was like feels a lot of my question marks as far as like how is our defense going to look? It's looking like they're filling in all those gaps that I was really worried about. And I do have to add on to what you're saying. I have to recant all my sentiments of last week about get them out there playing in preseason and everything. Because same. I was like, oh man, but luckily, infamously, Patrick Mahomes is faster than the guy, just faster than the guy right behind him. So like always. Twinkle toes out of it somehow. Text you guys during the game. I'm so glad we have that quarterback and not somebody slower in that situation. But yeah, man, I have to recant that because there's been some significant injuries. Blake Bell and Derek Gore got hurt in that game, and you know what I mean. I'm just like, whoa, man, that could just easily be any other first string starter. So like, I have to say like, all right, this next game. Maybe just one series. I'm good with that. Then let's get serious when we're going into the season.
Yeah. When I saw the news of the Derek Gore injury, I thought about you, Bo. I thought about sending you a get well soon card and maybe sending the authorities to do a wellness check on you. I know that was your guy.
Remember you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like Derek Gore too. The guy flashed when he got into games last season. So you just hate to see anybody miss time, especially a whole season with injury. But it's football, and it's a physical game. It's a grueling game. Injuries happen. That play, too, that defender came on the blind side unblocked. And I was just like, my heart, like,
but like, I don't think Patrick has the green light to, like, go scramble yet. You know what I mean? Right. So, like, even though that play was close and was coming from his blind side, I feel like if he felt pressure, I mean, he got rid of it pretty quick and, like, okay, crisis averted. He kind of scrambled a little bit. But,
which was nice, but yeah.
But I feel like he would have had, like, an even better game if he has the green light to scramble, right? Like, a lot of those throwaway balls, that's 5-10 yards that he would easily gain just running it.
Yep.
So,
or keep it alive scrambling around and make a play. But Nick, just overall thoughts on the Washington game or the preseason overall so far?
Yeah, defense, although they haven't given up any points, making me kind of nervous the way that they performed in those drives, kind of letting Washington get down the field. But I'm not going to nitpick too much when you haven't given up any points. And I think they played 4 drives. So kudos if they could play like that, right? We'll have a really good season. My other major takeaway, aside from everybody's talking about the amount of receivers that Mahomes is throwing the ball to, which is great. But my other major takeaway is that Patrick Mahomes has these one-off plays during preseason that if it was any other quarterback in the league, or maybe not any other, but 25 other starting quarterbacks in the league, they would be like, hey, can you make sure that whenever you show my season highlights or my career highlights that throws on it? I mean, you guys remember that where he's running to the sideline and he just turns and he like with no feet on the ground throws the ball to the middle of the field. And I mean, it wasn't a tight spiral, but just right to the receiver. He found the open guy. Look, I don't even know how you see that guy when you're getting chased out of bounds, but just the wherewithal to do that. Excellent 3rd and 10 throw. What's his name? Watson, 84. He looks like he's going to be a big pickup, but that's just one of my major takeaways. And I know that we, crush on Patrick Mahomes a lot on this podcast, but that's what Chiefs Kingdom does, right? It's just incredible to see him do that. And, I don't know that, like, it's like so commonplace that you see those plays now that I don't know that we fully appreciate the fact that, I've never seen anybody do that really in any other game. And I see him do it like almost every game where he does some incredible throw like that. So.
Yeah, good call on that Watson dude. Did you guys notice on that deep ball to Sky Moore that got broken up that Watson guy was wide open in the middle? Like wide open. Like could have had a walk-in touchdown, but I felt like Mahomes was just trying to, get Sky an opportunity a little bit. But
yeah,
I think Watson's going to be a guy this year, man. I think he's going to be something to be reckoned with.
Yeah, the Chiefs. The Chiefs receiving cores. They don't even have Juju out there, who was probably their, the biggest pickup.
He's still listed as number 1, and he hasn't caught like a preseason pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's been hurt, right? His knee's been injured.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of an issue. I don't think there's any question as whether or not he'll be ready to go week 1, but they're just playing it safe with him in the preseason. We got John B. Preseason sucks ass. I'm all for joint practices.
I agree.
Yeah, no, preseason football, it's
the spark before the flame, though.
Right. Yeah. And
the only thing worse than your guy getting hurt in a preseason game, though, would be him getting hurt in a preseason joint practice where they weren't even really trying to play.
Yeah.
In a fight on a special teams play.
Yeah.
Right. I think the Chiefs' prime competition had an incident like that with their quarterback and getting thrown to the ground or whatever. But, so they don't have Juju out there, and Patrick's slinging the ball around. He's not a wide receiver, but Jody Fortson, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Another under the radar guy, right?
That second touchdown was a hell of a catch. He had defenders on him, and it was tough, and he had to turn and secure the ball, get 2 feet, get the toes in bounds with the defender kind of draping on him and shielding him away from the ball. Good to see that guy back. Everything you hear from all the players on the teams, you can tell by the excitement, especially in Travis Kelce. His face and mannerisms when he makes a big player does something that Kelce really likes that guy. Really thinks that he's got a lot of potential. So,
before he got hurt last year, dude, he was catching some unbelievable passes, man. Like Brett Favre speed passes. Obviously Mahomes hugging it to him, but they remind me of just how fast Brett Favre used to throw it. Just boop, all hands. You know what I mean? And super unfortunate he had the Achilles injury, but hey, man, he looks great and ready to roll.
Good for him too. That's a hard one to come back from.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's looking like he could be a red zone target. Big guy, big catch radius. Looks like he's got strong hands, good hands. We were just kind of talking about that. Sky Moore's looking pretty good. He's made a couple of nice plays here in the preseason. All the reports I've heard from the defensive backs on the Chiefs say who's the hardest guy to cover, and they all say Sky Moore is the hardest guy to cover. The rookie, we saw him in the first game, even maybe get some of those like pop pass, jet sweep looking misdirection plays that the Cheetah would run. So maybe he's going to try and fill into that role a little bit. Excited to see what he does. He's looked good. Justin Watson's looked good. Fortson's looking good. You get Juju out there. MVS was open on a play. Patrick, it looked like he overthrew him, and he kind of did that was me. But if you watch that play again, I kind of watched it a couple times on replay. MVS is open, and he cuts to the sideline, and Patrick throws the ball more down the hashes. Then that's a timing and that's a chemistry thing. Those guys get that ironed out. Because if you can get MVS in the open field, no one's catching that guy. He's fast. I don't know if he's cheetah fast, but he's not far behind him if he's not. So,
yeah, I think what they were saying on the broadcast was that he was running the route he was supposed to run, but I think that the way that offense works is Patrick saw there was nobody over the top there.
Yeah.
And in that case, they tell the guys, if you got nobody there, just run for the end zone. And
Patrick will chuck it.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably just a little new to the system. Maybe it's a like you said, a chemistry thing that'll build up. What did you guys think about them having Sky Moore returning kicks in preseason? You think that's something that we'll love, or I was kind of surprised to see him out there returning kicks as our second round wide receiver draft pick.
Bo?
Yeah, man, I'm for it. He looked good. He looks. I think it's a great way to judge the pace of how things move in the NFL. Right, put him out there, get like a real feel for the speed, because those happen so much faster and with so much more intensity than in college. You know what I mean? Like, get an idea for how fast these bigger guys that are out there actually are. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna just kind of putz around these guys. You're gonna have to actually like go 110 the entire time. But it's risky putting him out there, because that's a position that gets hurt all the time. But hey, if you're smart about it, I think it's a great thing to do. The Chiefs coaching staff, they know what they're doing. I think that's what they're trying to do. Just get them in there, get some game time, get a feel for it.
Yeah, you saw him do that with Tyreek Hill when he was first on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's one of those things especially when you're a rookie. There's lots of positions and needs that you got to fill, and you only got 53 guys to do it from. So they're going to get as much as they can out of the guys. And if he comes out and proves to be the team's 1 or 2 option at wide receiver, I'm sure you'll see less of that. But if he can be a threat there,
that's a ladder to climb, though, man.
Right? Yeah, I understand. I get it. I had the same thought when I saw him out there. I was like, man, this is your second round pick. That's a guy you kind of expecting to get a lot from for a rookie anyway, putting him out there. But again, there's only 53 guys on the team. Someone's got to return the kicks and the punts, and maybe they're just testing it out too. Maybe they're seeing how he does in the preseason before the games start counting. So it's risky, but I'm not necessarily against it. And I don't think a rookie player is gonna get that level of pampering or get that level of, I don't think they're going to put the kid gloves on the rookies. You're going to come in and prove that you're somebody that is too valuable maybe, or too risky to be put in that position. So he caught both. He ran up on one and caught it in traffic.
Dude's fast too. I think his combine 40 was like 4.4 or something like that. So, it makes sense to have some dude with some speed doing that.
Yeah, and he's kind of a little guy too, so maybe he's elusive. Maybe like one of those shifty, kind of hard to get your hands on kind of guys. So, yeah, I'm excited to see. Patrick, both games, he's had at least, 7 different receivers or more catch passes.
Yeah. Just a
guys
ridiculous
are getting open.
Setting.
Travis has been getting his out there with the first team. Looking good. And again, it's preseason. We'll pump the brakes a little bit. I remember going back a ways to the Dick Vermeil days. There was a guy named Sammy Parker that looked like the next coming of, I'm not going to say Randy Moss, but looked like the next coming of a star wide receiver in the league, and he never did anything. In the regular season, he was off the team in 2 years. So you kind of got to pump the brakes a little bit. But at the same time, you'd rather see the offense go out there scoring points and having guys open and Pat spreading the ball around and looking good than looking bad.
Right.
And having a bunch of question marks and a bunch of work, coach saying there's work to do, and not getting the ball in the end zone, or struggling to move the ball, or struggling to get off the field, or on defense, the first teamers. And I'm happy as you could be with preseason performance out of the team.
Right. I don't want to get my hopes up too much because obviously it's preseason, but we were starting off at the beginning of the show, like you couldn't ask for a better beginning, right? Like everybody's looking good, dude. Going over to the defense, dude. Nick Bolton looks insanely good. Our draft picks, Karlaftis, Chanel, everybody looks great. McDuffie looks good. Even some of the veterans had some clutch plays that made them look good. Like Snead had a couple breakup passes. People just flying around, hitting hard. You know what I mean? Like they look like they're ready to roll. It was exciting to watch this game.
Yeah, they've got one more preseason game, but they treat the third preseason game like they used to treat the fourth preseason game, and you don't see anybody that's a lock for the team really, or is going to be an integral part of the team being successful in reaching their goals. I don't think in that game. They're trying to get down to that 53 number, make the tough decisions, roster positions 46, 47, 51, 52, who's going to be guy 53. And they're also watching tape on other guys around the league to see if maybe somebody lets someone go that they've got their eye on. We've seen
right. That's kind of alluding to John V's question a little bit, asking about if we're thinking they're going to make any moves before the trade deadline or anything.
I don't know. They brought in Carlos Dunlap, edge rusher, and it looks like he's got an injury now. I'm not sure how serious that is, but with Frank Clark, and then having Karlaftis being a rookie, that was kind of a position the Chiefs felt obviously they needed to do something there in the offseason by bringing in a veteran presence in Dunlap. Now, if it looks like maybe he's going to be out for a while, maybe they do something there. But really, I mean, I see if there's any moves, I think people being brought in, you're going to see when you get to that final cut down. Like I said, if there's a guy or guys on other rosters that maybe were late round draft picks or someone you scouted a year or two ago in the draft and you didn't get to pick, maybe they're not sticking on a team this year, they get cut. You see teams do that a lot too. They'll go through and mine that waiver wire for talent. So that's always a possibility.
Nick, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to make any trades or anything, or do you think that was what the whole preseason shenanigans was about?
I mean, I think we had 1 million draft picks, right? So I think that close. They're trimming down, and then. I mean, I know that if they were going to trade, what I would like for them to do, I mean, I'd like for them to try to trade for a better running back because I think that's probably been the one thing this preseason that, I think that our running backs are averaging like 2 yards a carry in that game or something for the first stringers. But it's that's the one really big question mark that we have. I know that Pacheco is hopeful, right? He's a really fast guy. He's had a couple of flash plays here in the preseason. However, I think he was he's like a 6th round pick, 7th round pick. So, later round guy, you're really, got to sift through a lot of duds in those rounds to get somebody that's going to be like contribute a lot. Not talking bad about Pacheco at all. I think he has potential there, but we definitely don't have what I would see as like a clear number one running back on roster.
Right.
McKinnon, our 49ers friend's favorite player of all time. He's shown perform in the playoffs and stuff in the past. So I think he's got to be the one, that for me, because I've seen literally nothing from CEH that has changed my mind about him at all in this preseason so far. So, they've invested that 1st round pick in him, so they'll probably continue to put him out there. I think he's still listed as the one on the depth chart. But if we were going to make a move, I would like to see us try to make a move to get somebody that's better, especially with Gore going down, right? So now it's like,
So I was thinking of this earlier, and I saw a couple of people talk about it online. like with Derek Gore going down and like obviously being like the obvious fourth choice, does Rojo make the 53-man squad? Does he get to slide in there now because Derek Gore is out for the season?
I don't know. I don't want to see him out there personally. I just don't.
I don't even think he played this past week.
No, he did the first week, and it looked like he didn't have anything. And he wasn't playing against the first teams either, right? I mean, he was coming out against the seconds and thirds and really did not look very good. Now it's obviously just a couple of plays and probably a new offensive scheme, but they probably have fairly simple, generic run plays that they're trying there. So
thanks for the segue, John V, because like that was perfect for the the trading, because like I think Nick nailed it, man. Like, I think we need a clear running back, dude. None of these guys, like I threw up the stats on the bottom, dude. Like that's terrible run. That's attempts and yards, right? That's what those numbers are.
Right.
Pathetic, dude. Absolutely pathetic. And like, could you imagine how unbelievably unstoppable our offense would be if we had a real run game?
So if nobody can do it, is it the players, or is it a scheme, or is it a line blocking?
I think you put it on the O-line, right? Because like that's normally where you get your holes from. That's normally where like you break through that first line. Our guys barely are able to do that.
Right. No, I don't know. The run game and the pass game, it's been good. Again, a lot of that's Patrick, but I think maybe the run game's just been kind of vanilla in the preseason, and the Chiefs are going to be a pass heavy team. That's just when you got Patrick Mahomes, you're going to be a pass heavy team. So yeah, I think McKinnon has shown the most out of all the guys. I know last season he had some injuries and missed some time, but when he came in the playoffs, like he was the guy, and he looked good. So
yeah.
I don't.
Well, Scotty, I was going to say, Scotty threw a Twitter poll out there.
I did.
And
it looks
looks like everybody's
watching. Go ahead and throw your vote out on the comments right now. If you're a Chiefs fan, obviously, who would you like to see in the Chiefs running back role?
So, in the poll, McKinnon edge, CEH out.
Yeah, that kind of went how I thought it would go. I kind of expected McKinnon to lead the vote and then have Clyde up there in second and Pacheco in third. So to me, McKinnon has shown the most upside, the most ability. Pacheco's been the star of training camp, though. And maybe they're saving some run game secrets or some tricks, some shiftiness for when the games count. I also think it's the line is built to protect Patrick Mahomes. So I think that they're looking for pass blocking is the premium there, not run blocking. So it'd be great to get back to the days of Kareem Hunt, man. You got a badass quarterback and a badass running back. Maybe Pacheco can be that guy. There's some people that are drawing those comparisons to him in his running style and the way he looks. Maybe not quite as powerful, but maybe a little faster, so that makes up for that there. John's in here, 49ers. They've always got a stable of good running backs. But with them, their run scheme and their run game is always so good. That's kind of the opposite of what Nick was talking. Like, is it the backs or is it the system that's not good? It's like, well, with the 49ers, is it the system or is it the running backs that are really good? But, so if you've played fantasy football, you know who Hasty and Wilson are for sure. Those are kind of guys you keep an eye on if one of your starters goes down, or if, you get a RB1 guy in San Francisco goes down. Those are always good pickups, like break glass pickup.
I love Doug's comment. He's got the ABC method to running backs. Anybody but Clyde.
Yeah. I put the tweet out during the game. It says CEH can't elude hand tackles. The guy just goes down so easily. And he just does not look like he makes at least Pacheco's, there's been a few plays where he didn't get a lot of yards. He only got 3 or 4 or 5 yards, but he made a guy miss and turned a no gain or a yard loss into a 5-yard gain.
Right. And God, that was CEH's curse, man, right? Like he would, I feel like, intentionally like walk behind the line and wait for guys to tackle him because it was like, oh, it's too open here. What is this? Like,
yeah.
Some guys got it. Some guys don't.
Yeah. That's something we're going to do on the social media stuff and the Twitter here this year. We're going to do a weekly poll. So make sure you check out that. Look for that each week. Vote, retweet it out there. I think we got almost 100 votes on that one, didn't we? 78 or 80 or 85 votes on the poll this week. So
yeah, it's good response.
That's something we're going to do each week during the show. We'll put out a poll, and then we'll talk about the results. And we'd love to see, like Bo said, if you're in there in the comments, if you voted, let us know who you voted for. If you didn't see the poll and you just want to shout out who you would like to see out there, throw a name out there. Love to have you.
Yeah, man, I don't think that's a stretch to say that by any means. I've never been a fan of him, to tell you the truth. I mean, he's had moments, but he's never just been consistent enough to just be like, yeah, CEH all the way for me. Like, I don't know.
I was sitting right next to Nick when they made that draft pick, and so Nick can tell you I have not been a fan of that pick since the moment the pick was announced. But
I got to give the Glomar response there. I can neither confirm nor deny that was true.
Right.
But yeah, it's that Scotty nailed it. He said he's like the 5th best running back in this class, and we're picking him in the 1st round. What are we doing? I mean, that was it's spot on. Yeah, if he wasn't a 1st round pick, John, for anybody that's listening to this on audio, John had a comment that was, is it fair to declare that CEH is a bust? And being a 1st round pick, unless you see something phenomenal out of him this year, there's, with running backs, their current value as far as draft capital right now, I would say, yeah, spending a 1st round draft pick on him he's a bust unless he has some sort of phenomenal breakout year. I mean, even an average to okay year at this point isn't going to cut it, because you can get an average to okay running back in the 2nd, 3rd round all day, right?
Or later.
I feel like the potential for a great season is there, dude. With like our receiving squad so deep, and like defenses last year thinking that they had us figured out just by covering too deep on Tyreek. They're gonna have no idea who to cover, what to cover. It's gonna be such like a clusterfuck on defensive ends that our run game might be a complete turnaround this year. I haven't seen it yet, but I mean,
that's what we thought last year, though, right? Everybody's dropping 8 into coverage last year, and they still couldn't get it done.
That's true.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to be a good opportunity, because if we're seeing that true, 5 guys out there that can catch the ball on any play, that does make people a little more hesitant, right? They don't have to focus on 1 or 2 guys. So maybe it's not just the type of coverage, Bo. It's the fact that they're not like, okay, those 2 guys got Kelsey, those 2 guys got Tyreek, and then we don't really have to worry about anybody else. There's just a bunch of other palookas out there. But
right. Well, I hate to sound like a broken record and the guy's career long run is 31 yards. Patrick Mahomes' career long run is longer than his. That's just
I think Bruchelle had a longer run in this preseason game, right?
Right.
He had 32-yard or no 20.
I think Pacheco had an 8 or 9 yard screen pass Saturday, and I put out there on the Chiefs King Alliance. If I was better at stats research, I could have answered that question. But it's like, I think maybe Pacheco had more yards on that one play than Clyde's got all preseason.
Yeah.
He's just, it's not pick on Clyde day or anything like that. I want the guy to be good. I want all the players we pick, especially a 1st round draft pick, to be good, but he just hasn't shown that ability. Who was the last player you saw that was in the league for 2 or 3 years before they really blew up and became a star?
Running backs, never.
Yeah. No, that's
right.
You can tell right away. And I know Andy Reid gets a lot of credit for being the quarterback guru, but he's also kind of like a running back whisperer too, man. Like, We've seen guys come in, Spencer Wares and Sharkandrick Wests, and no-name guys come in and be productive. And Clyde just hasn't. So.
I was never a fan of those two guys at running back either, though.
I don't know.
They're showing they had way better productivity than CEH has.
Yeah,
I'll give them that for sure.
Those guys were no-name guys. You didn't even know who they were. Like when the average fan, especially, like, who's West? But they made big plays, and they were serviceable. They were at least better than mediocre. You know.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm not trying to say they were Hall of Fame running backs or they're going to be the Chiefs Ring of Honor or anything, but Andy Reid has been able to get production out of running backs too. His entire career, go back to when he was with Philadelphia, and Brian Westbrook and some of the guys he had were. It's a running back friendly system. It always has been. So, I just want someone, and I'd like to see Pacheco. I think he has the home run speed. To where when there is a hole or you do get the break, and maybe even McKinnon too, he showed some power and some ability to turn, small gains into bigger gains, especially in the playoffs last year. But
I
don't.
I'm going to change pace a little bit just because I looked up and I have my YouTube going on my TV and there's a video playing and it's Denver Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers. Are they the best team in the AFC West? And sorry, I just got to change this. I got to talk about this real quick because I went back and I watched the highlights of the Broncos game and of the Chargers games and all this stuff, right? I don't know where they're getting this from, right? First of all, they haven't seen Russell Wilson in Denver throw a pass to anybody in a game situation other than practice, right? So, how are they even saying the Broncos are competitive, if not better? The Raiders, their first couple of series, Derek Carr almost got his head ripped off, and he turned into old Derek Carr, shaky,
just
not good. The Chargers, I'll give them that. But sorry, I just got triggered by this video up here. What in the world? How is that a thing? I don't even think the AFC West is going to be as competitive as all these guys think. Do you guys?
Well, the Chargers have had their annual preseason major injury to key player, J.C. Jackson, the cornerback that they signed in free agency. It's coming over from New England. He's out 2 to 4 weeks. It looks like, which I don't say that with any joy. Like I said, I never want to see anybody get injured, but I just don't. Yeah, the Raiders. I mean, how many times have you seen the Raiders? Oh my God, the Raiders got that guy, and they still are not as good as the Chiefs. The Broncos, Russell Wilson.
The Broncos just got smoked 42-9 in a preseason game, man. What are they? I don't think Russell Wilson's going to change that.
Who's Russell Wilson going to throw the ball to?
Precisely.
I mean, they were talking about Tim Patrick's hurt. Oh my God, Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick's would be the third best receiver on the Chiefs. And Russell Wilson, he didn't look that good last year. And you don't have DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. There's no receiver on the Broncos right now that's as good as either of those guys. And he's getting older, and he lost his mobility, which that was a big part of his game when he was younger. He would get out and kind of do that Mahomes-like magic, right? Even before Mahomes was doing it. Yeah. Run around, buy time, scramble, get away from a sack, make a play down. He was getting run down and sacked a ton last year, and he had the injury, and he's getting older. So I don't. Russell Wilson.
I think 2 years ago, he had Tyler Lockett, Metcalf, and Chris Carson in the backfield, and they couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? I don't understand what these pundits think he's going to do in Denver. And then, like I said, the Raiders game, dude, they look so terrible. And then Devontae Adams hasn't played a snap either. So it's you can't say he's going to come in and change things. Although he is Devontae Adams and he is a game changer at some point. But he still has Derek Carr throwing to him.
Here's the deal with the Raiders. So we already saw Josh McDaniels in the AFC West. How'd that go for him? Oh yeah, no, that hit tail and go back to New England after he had his own Spygate thing with the Broncos. And things fell apart. You were saying, when was the last time you finally saw a running back, come out in their, third year or whatever? When was the last time you finally saw a quarterback in their 10th year with Derek Carr, however the freaking old that dude is, just all of a sudden? I mean, the guys played in one playoff game or 2 playoff games? One playoff game, right? And they lost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is laughable. The Broncos saying people love Russell Wilson. He's been in 2 Super Bowls, so I'll give him that. Maybe that there's some hype there, but you're right, Scott. I don't think that their roster is favorable. Remains to be seen. And then the Chargers, like, as long as they have a head coach, it's like a dude that like makes a lot of money, but he's got a really bad gambling problem. He's always going to be broke. The head coach goes for it on 4th down every time.
He was on the Pat McAfee show trying to explain that he's like, no, we talk about it. And you're like, no, you don't. You do it every single time. Like, no, you don't talk about it.
You could argue that last year that gambling cost them the division against the Chiefs because they kept going for it on 4th down and it kept not working. And then we won, right? I mean, Travis Kelce overtime, one of the greatest moments like in recent memory. I mean, so I just I don't know. It just remains to be seen. And Bo, like to quote George Carlin, when you see that stuff George Carlin said, right? Like it's bullshit and it's bad for you. Like just like when they're trying to get people enraged, they're like, no, but the Chiefs have won 6 freaking years in a row. That's what that's what they want you to do.
I know,
that's the reaction they're looking for.
Well,
it's working. It's working.
I'm not going to click on that video. Are you kidding me?
It's a combination of that, and it's a combination of everybody wants to be the first to pick the new thing, right? Like, oh, see, I'm the one that picked the Chargers. I told everybody, the Chiefs, this was the year they were coming. Yeah, you've been saying this is the year for 5 years. Like, so but people got short memories, and people, like I said, they want to be the first one in there. But I don't. Who did the Chargers play last year? The Ravens. I want to say they lost a game where they went for it on like 4th and 2 or 4th and 3
from like their own 30 or something like that.
Fucking, like 17-yard line.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
They didn't get it, and I don't know if the Ravens scored a touchdown, but they gave them a free 3 points.
Yeah,
you're not. I mean. The AFC West boils down to this. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the division, and Andy Reid's the best head coach in the division. And when you got the best, when you're rolling out there on Sundays or Monday nights or whenever they play the game, and you got the best quarterback and you got the best head coach, you're going to win a lot of games. And you're going to come out on top more often than not. So I think it's great because I think it serves as motivation for the team as well.
Yeah, for sure.
They see it and just, I mean – they'd be like, I don't know what everybody that's watching does for a living, but just put yourself like in that position. You win the Salesman of the Year award every year, but come January and February, all the coworkers or all the other people are like, oh, I think this is the year the other guy takes you down. I mean, you just that's going to motivate you. Like, oh, this is going to be the year that somebody that
sounds like a shit place to work for, bro. If everybody's gunning for you to fall.
Right. So it's I don't know. It's just noise.
It's like a toxic environment.
Where do
I'm not saying gunning for you to go down. I'm saying someone's picking someone to like win the award every year that you win every year.
Right. Yeah, no, they're tired of seeing the same people win. That's what it is, right?
Right. You're like, I'm the best. I win this shit every year. But yet come January, everybody's putting in the office pool. Somebody else is going to take you down.
The guy started for 4 years. And in those 4 years as quarterback, he's gone AFC Championship game, Super Bowl victory, Super Bowl loss, AFC Championship game. You're going to bet against that guy for Derek Carr or a guy that goes for it on 4th down on it. I mean, like that dude just reminds me of that poker player that's like, I've got a system, like it's like, no, you don't. You're an idiot. Like,
right. Well, not only that, but Justin Herbert knew Mahomes, right? Like that new Coke's better than original. Turns out not so much. Like the guy's better than Mahomes.
Mahomes classic.
But yet he throws 2 interceptions in the second half against the Houston Texans last year to lose that game and miss out on the playoffs. And his first year, he came in and he wasn't even going to be the starter. Tyrod Taylor was going to be the starter, and then someone punctured his lung pregame, and they put him in a pinch, and he played well, but he made a terrible pass in the 4th quarter that got intercepted that ended up costing him that game. He didn't get better at that in his sophomore season. So
John nailed it with this comment, though, right? They're no slouches, though. Like anything, that would be the team that, like, I'm not worried about, but I would be the most worried about. You know what I mean? Like facing them, like I feel like they're going to be our opponent.
Yeah, I mean they're the prime challengers to the belt in the division.
For sure.
But that doesn't make them the favorite. Like that doesn't make them the put your money on them. So it's just like Patrick said, I'll believe it when I see it.
Right.
And I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not believing it. We're from Missouri here, man. Just show me state. I got.
How about in a win or die game against the Raiders? You win before we, in the regular season, nonetheless, before we start saying that you're gonna unseat, a Super Bowl MVP.
In case anybody forgot, the Chiefs beat the Raiders in 2 games last year by a combined 66 points.
I love that you know that stat off the top of your head.
They did.
I'm getting it tattooed on my back, bro.
I was at one of them.
Yeah.
I was at the logo game.
Yeah, we went to the logo game. I saw him stomp, and I was like, that's not going to play well for them.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
Again, everybody wants to be the first person to say, I told you so. I'm the guy that picked, I'm the person that bucked the trend, and it gets stale and it gets old, but whatever.
Yeah, because then they can pull that video up in 9 months, but then when they're wrong, nobody's pulling the video up. Nobody cares, right? They'll just be like, oh, yeah, no, but and a lot of these people are hedging their bets. They're like, I mean, I said that the Chiefs could be better, but,
yeah, you see that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go,
it's funny now watching.
They've got the potential to. Well, I never said they would. I said they had the potential. Well, you're just riding the fence. Like, take a side.
Oh, no, dude. Complete flip-flops, dude. Like, if you like ESPN and stuff like Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and Dan Orlovsky, right? Like, last year, Chiefs are the worst team, or even on the offseason, right? They're like, oh, my God, they're the worst team, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, after this preseason, right, now they're coming out like, well, actually, no, they're still Super Bowl contenders. I was just saying that you got to watch out. They might not be as good. Yeah, just
I will. Nick did point out the fact that I don't know if I'm going to call him like noted Chiefs hater Mike Florio or not.
Oh yeah,
he was definitely a Tyreek Hill hater, and he kind of hated on the Chiefs last couple of years with Tyreek, but he was talking with Chris Sims, and Chris Sims is one of these guys that's been talking about all these other teams in the division. What did you say, Nick? Mike Florio?
Yeah, well, they were discussing the Mahomes, saying that he thought that they were playing not to lose, right, instead of playing to win in the AFC Championship game, and that's kind of what screwed him up. And when they were talking about it, Mike Florio was like, I think that just means they're going to kick the shit out of everybody. And I was like, that's what I think too. He's like, we were trying to, just kind of cool it off, and now I'm just going to go for the throat every play, right, every drive. And you would hope that's Andy Reid's MO has been to do that, right, where they take their foot off the gas when they get a lead. So hopefully, Mahomes can audible out of some of that vanilla stuff when they get that lead, because the new NFL, I mean, these leads, like 18 points is not safe, right? When you've got a half of football to play. 20 years ago, that's a really safe lead. In this day and age, with the way that penalties can turn a drive, the way, that the passing game is, I mean, wonky shit can happen. So,
hey, speaking of penalties, how about the refs this preseason, right? Like, I feel like they've been pretty, non-existent, which is a good thing, right? They're not having an active role in the games. Oh,
right.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for jumping in, John. We appreciate it.
Man. Always a pleasure having you here, man.
The views. If you haven't heard, you've probably heard me talk about it on this show over and over, but Locker Room Rant. That's all you need to know. Go look it up on YouTube. Go follow them on Twitter. Watch their show every week. It's really funny, and it's good. It's good entertainment, and they're good dudes that are on that show. You'll be supporting good people, no doubt. And I'm gonna get up there and check out that
it's
diner.
funny.
I'm gonna get up there and check out that diner sometime. I promise, John B. Can't wait to do that someday. So,
and there's going to be a merger show between our shows,
right? Yeah,
sometime in the not too distant future. So,
right, yeah. As soon as we can get everybody's schedules, we got world travelers, Bo and Nick here. So,
I jet here, I jet there.
New location every week. Catch me. Catch me in a guest house outside in Texas right now.
Yeah.
I'm just really good at setting all this stuff up in different locations to look exactly the same.
Right.
I was doing that last year in like hotel rooms and stuff as I was traveling, right? I'd put up my Chiefs flag behind me and I'd pin up some hats.
Yeah. Another thing I kind of wanted to talk about here, and this goes into the file of insert foot in the mouth with the Chiefs preseason game. I believe it's tomorrow night against the Green Bay Packers at Arrowhead
Thursday,
Stadium.
Yeah,
Old
Thursday night.
friend talking shit alert. Feels like we need to come up with some sort of siren or some sort of sound effect for that. Sammy Watkins talking about Aaron Rodgers. And
Oh, yeah.
he's just on a whole other level than Patrick Mahomes. I just don't I don't get it. From everything you hear about Patrick, he's a great guy. And he's an off the field guy, and he's a leader, and he's this and that. And then you get these guys that leave and like they feel the need to I don't know what it is. Like Aaron Rodgers on another level than Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers damn quarterback. But does anybody really think he's on another level than Patrick Mahomes? I mean, I don't.
No way. No, I don't think that. It's funny, dude, because like Sammy Watkins is talking all this ish, and then who's the other guy talking? Tyreek's talking, you know what I mean? All these other players. D-Rob's talking a little bit of smack too. Just like I'm with you. I've heard nothing but great things about the guy. I just think they have a little bad blood with the organization, and like maybe they feel that Patrick didn't step up for them enough or something. I don't know, but it's funny watching all these guys talk all this stuff online, dude, and like just kind of knowing in your back pocket that they're going to get humbled in like less than 30 hours, right? Like,
right. I mean, is Sammy Watkins even gonna? I mean, it's a preseason game. Like,
you have to understand that solar lizard beings like Sammy Watkins, they can see things and perceive things in ways that we can't. You know, being just regular terrestrial mortals. But I look at it as, look, if you've worked with a number of people throughout your life, and we're all at the age now where we have, whenever someone is, you know, asked to leave a position and gets another job, or they do leave for whatever they perceive to be a better opportunity, whenever you talk to that person, they're always kind of, you know, dismissive of the job they had before, right? And the people they worked with before. And I don't think it's so much as to, you know, talk down about Patrick as it is they're trying to make themselves feel better about what they did or the choices they made or the things that happened to them, and be like, yeah, well, I landed in a better spot. I'm with Aaron Rodgers now. And it's like, I mean, I just, you know, if that's like what you got to do to cope, you know, if that's what you got to do to cope, that's what you got to do to cope, I guess. If that's what Tyreek's got to do to, you know, to convince himself that he taking the money was the right call, that, you know, somehow Tua Tagovailoa is better, you know, more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. If that's what you really got to think, I mean, you know, whatever, dude. Like,
part of me thinks that it's them really just trying to mask that they know how much better that Mahomes is than everybody else. So they're just trying to make sure that they're on their quarterback side, right? Like,
right?
Yeah, maybe.
It's like when you blow it with the hot girlfriend, and like now you're with someone else, and you're like, oh, I mean, she wasn't all that, you know, like you're trying to convince yourself more than anybody else. That, yeah, you know, you fucked up. But
it's like the Norm Macdonald joke when the guys are on the moon and there was that dude that didn't get to go out, right?
Yeah.
Like, how was it? Like, oh, you know, it was okay. I mean, it's not that great, you know.
Yeah. R.I.P. to Norm too.
Yeah.
One of the legends of comedy.
One of the funniest people to ever live.
So funny. But
I gotta plug in my computer here for just a sec, guys.
So
I just threw this up on the bottom. The Packers coaching staff saying that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play in the game.
Isn't?
No.
The NFL just cannot get this game to happen in any shape or form.
That's what I told Ashley. I was like, they're never going to get this State Farm Bowl going. Like, gosh, they're missing out on so much money.
Right. State Farm's like, we want our $500 million back for
There's got to be bad blood between the commissioner and State Farm CEO or something, right? Like they lost a golf bet or something like that.
right.
I wonder if Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are pissed about it too. Like, I wonder if there's like some sort of promotional deal where they'll get like an extra $500,000 for like the promos for that game or something.
Aaron Rodgers would play if that was the case. He'd play for 2 snaps.
And just being and not only that, just being the competitors that they are. They want to go out there and show that they're the man. Like that's that's going on too. So. It's just
Aaron Rodgers though was talking mad shit about his receivers this week, though, talking about them making a ton of mistakes and like if they keep dropping balls like they're dropping, they're off the team, no questions asked, kind of stuff. Like, it sounds like they're in kind of disarray a little bit.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see how they do without Devontae Adams. He was there. I mean, they got a good running back. They got some good running backs. Jones and Dillon, pretty good running tandem there.
Yeah.
Maybe they adjust. Maybe they change it up a little bit, but I don't know what to expect from the Packers. You wouldn't like to, you wouldn't think that one guy makes that big a difference. But then again, I was ready to cash it in when we lost Tyreek.
All right, but I know what you're saying, and I felt similar, right? Like I was gutted when Tyreek Hill got traded and everything. Like, oh God. But then, like, we made the right moves in the offseason. I don't feel like the Packers made any moves. They got rid of Devontae Adams. We got MVS from them. Like, I know they have a rookie that looks like a stud, but, like, I don't know. They have, like, Robert Tonyan at tight end, and I don't know. Sammy Watkins, I guess. Like,
Baby Kittle. Old Robert Tonyan, Baby Kittle.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they got weapons. They lost their offensive coordinator to the Broncos, right? That's the Broncos head coach is the guy that was the OC there in Green Bay.
Are they going to be a team this year, you think? Nick, what do you think? You think they're going to be competitive?
They have Aaron Rodgers, so as long as he's playing, they're going to be competitive, right? I mean, I think that's a given. Now, are they going to be like a Super Bowl contender? I don't know. But, he is 38, 39 now, 38, I think, this year. So he's in age, but the way the rules are, they protected these guys. These guys are playing at their late 30s at a much higher level than they were able to when they were getting their brains beat in 25 years ago. So, like, I don't know. I mean, as long as he can play, like, at a decent level, I just really think that that's such a game changer at that position that they're going to be competitive. And then you also look, I mean, how awesome would it be to have 6 games against the Lions, the Bears, and 3 years, Ash, but the Vikings? I mean, if you had 6 games a year against those teams, like you're going to, it's like the Patriots all those years. I mean, they were up against just a god awful division. So, I mean, you have like almost half your games are gimmies, so I feel like they'll be competitive. They'll probably win their division, they'll probably be like a 2 or 3 seed. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who else.
I don't see them being that as competitive as they were in years past.
They've been everybody's like favorite pick. Super Bowl pick from the NFC for the last 2 or 3 years. I think maybe you got to look at some other teams in the NFC now. Maybe the Rams.
Yeah, definitely the Rams.
Ahead of them is
49ers have a question mark with whether Lance is good or not, right?
He looked good in all the preseason highlights that I watched.
Yeah, I'm glad we waited until John left the room to bring up Trey Lance and 49ers. I mean, John loves him some Trey Lance, but it's the other guy that not so much. But so
I like this comment that Doug made though about Rodgers and his little ayahuasca binges.
Right. Yeah, he did a soul cleanse or something, whatever he was talking about. I guess when you got that kind of money, that's what you do in your free time. But
you mean you never went down to South America and did ayahuasca, Scott?
No. Unfortunately not.
Or whatever.
Everyone's doing it. You should try it.
Yeah, I mean, went down South Central and did some things. South Central Street there in Albuquerque, Mexico. I don't know if you call that a soul cleanse or not, but yeah, the Packers would be an interesting team. I don't want to say they'd be kind of like the Chiefs, but they are kind of like the Chiefs in the NFC.
Yeah.
Lost a big player, or a perennial favorite in that conference that kind of has a new look to them. So I don't. This game tomorrow.
What time's the game on? Do you know?
7 o'clock, I think. It's night game.
All right.
So I have not had any luck moving my tickets, so maybe we'll do another giveaway tomorrow if you're watching, or if you watch us, keep an eye on the Chiefs Kingdom Live Twitter account, and maybe we can get another fan out to the game. Courtesy.
Oh, yeah, for those of you that don't know, or if you're just watching, Scott gave away 2 tickets to the game last week to a lucky fan that followed us on our Twitter account. We're thinking about trying to do giveaways like that as much as we can. Yeah. So make sure to give us a follow on all of our social media accounts.
Yeah, we're on a budget, but we ain't broke either. So
Ballers on a budget.
And hey, that just turned out to be a hell of a preseason game to go to.
Yeah.
Patrick played almost the whole first half. I mean, the first 2 drives. I mean, he was in there in the second quarter. And then it was an exciting game at the end. I mean, it looked like Washington was going to make a comeback maybe there. And then we got a pick and went in and scored a touchdown and sealed the game, put the game away.
I got
an exciting, action-packed game for preseason.
Shout out to that Washington receiver who got drilled on that crossing route, and then 3 plays later got up and scored a touchdown. I thought he was dead when he first got hit.
Oh, man.
I got lit up.
Right. We got Race Car in here. What's up, Race Car? Good to see you.
Yeah, way cool. We're going to try to do more giveaways like that. I've got some like Chiefs paraphernalia we'll give away too later on in the season and whatnot. So
memorabilia, Bo. Memorabilia, not paraphernalia.
Oh, no, dude. This is the down and dirty. This is the down and dirty Chiefs stuff. You don't even want to show this to people. It's Chiefs paraphernalia, bro.
Yeah.
We can't show it on the show, you know.
Yeah. But, yeah, looking forward to the regular season's right around the corner, man. It's always bittersweet when football season rolls around because you know summer's about over. But
this game should be a good game too, though. I mean, not for the first string teams, you know what I mean? But like all teams are making their cut in this next week from like 80 to 53. So I mean, everybody's gonna be playing their heart out. Should be some good football this weekend and tomorrow.
Yeah, looks like we got Matt in the comments listening. What's up, Matt?
What's up, Matt?
All right.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, no doubt. If you're watching and you haven't commented yet, just give us a shout out. Tell us where you're watching from or just anything. Go Chiefs, whatever. I say one dumb thing, like I said on this show, at least every week. So there's no need to be like intimidated or nervous to jump in the conversation here. That's what it's all about.
If I can go on the internet looking like this, you can comment.
Right. And it's anonymous too for most people, and most people have a real name on there. But
yeah. So, what are you guys looking forward to the most with this upcoming? Oh, Bo's changed the banner, but
no, I was answering your question with my banner. I knew you were going to ask that.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking forward to the most going to the season opener.
There's potentially something cool going on with that. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, I might wait until the week here. I can get this buttoned up. For sure.
We may or may not be doing a live podcast from Arizona at a really cool
we'll be doing a live podcast from Arizona, but we're trying to get something worked out. It'd be pretty cool if we can get it set up, but I don't want to jinx it. I'm kind of superstitious when it comes to announcing, but Bo and I will be in Arizona at State Farm Stadium for week 1. Chiefs at Cardinals. Chiefs are going to kick the Cardinals' ass. Like, I'm sorry, man. Kyler Murray, he ain't the one. He's okay, but he's no Patrick Mahomes. and that team's without D-Hop for the first stretch of the season there. So, yeah, that's I think I saw Chiefs -3, and they got sports betting legalized in Kansas here September 1st. So I might have to I might have to swing by Hollywood Casino and see if I can get my ticket paid for to the game or something. Might be making a small wager on Chiefs -3 at Arizona week 1.
Technically, your ticket is paid for, sir. I got you.
Well, okay, reimbursed. How about that then? So yes, that's gonna be cool. Looking forward to that. It's been a while. It's been a long time since I've been to Arizona. So
yeah. So stay tuned. We might be broadcasting from a pretty cool spot. If not, we'll be doing it from an okay spot. But we will be doing a show out there regardless.
Yeah. We'll be out there from Arizona week 1. We got you covered there. So anything else you guys want to get to before we get out of here?
No, man, I'm good. We can wrap this up.
Cool. All right. Well,
Yeah.
Everybody that watched, everybody that commented, everybody that follows us on social media and interacts with us, if you voted in the poll, we appreciate it. We're, like I said a little bit earlier in the show, we're going to be doing a weekly poll that we'll discuss on the show. So we'd love you to join in and tell us who you voted for and give us your thoughts every week on that. Obviously, breaking down the previous game, from the weekend before, and then looking ahead to the next game once the regular season gets started here. I think we're pretty solid on Wednesdays at 7:00 Kingdom time, like the Central Standard Time for some of these you don't know that, but give us a follow, check us out. Like I said, we're on Rumble now. We'd like to get that growing. It's kind of a growing platform. I see more and more people are moving to that, and I see a little bit more stuff advertised, and people are finding that's a pretty solid service there, especially if you kind of believe in against censorship or whatever. But check it out. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram.
We're approaching 1,500 followers, I believe, on Twitter. So tell your friends. Let's get over 1,500.
Yeah, if we get to 1,500 before the season starts, that'd be awesome. It's a lot of fun talking Chiefs and meeting new Chiefs fans, and maybe we'll get some guests. I don't know if anybody watching or whoever knows who Johnny B-Sides is. He said a couple weeks ago he'd be down to come on the show. He's the duck race guy, which I think is cool as hell. For some reason, it's rubber ducks racing down a stream, but it's super entertaining. He seems like a really, really nice guy. Hopefully, we'll be able to get him on, get some other folks on, get in here, get some guests, talk Chiefs with us.
He's talking to you, Ryan. I know you're listening right now. He's talking to you.
I am talking. No doubt. But thanks again for joining us. Give us a follow, give us a like, turn on notification, give us a subscription, and until next week, let's go Chiefs against Green Bay Packers at Arrowhead tomorrow night.
Go Chiefs!